the public relations officer for HANA, my good friend and my brother, Mr. Martin Adim Ekwe.
Stay right there, stay right there.
Very quiet, but very eloquent. From the host city, the Secretary General of HANA, Mr. Victor Uche Arif. The president of the local chapter, that when we talked about cooperating, he said from rain or shine, he will find the money. And we never knew they would find the money. Another good friend of mine and a brother, Mr. Chinedu Victor Ebube from Washington. Finally, yours truly, not that he's very considered, of which you want coming. I'd like to recognize people that have made sure that everything has worked in the name of our board of directors. From the lost city and the prodigal son of California, but has always worked with us, one of our able board of directors, Dr. Michael Okafu. From the host city, not only I have worked with him since the inauguration of HANA, I have been in Atlanta since Tuesday to see this through. St. Peter Clever one. The father to the first godson that I ever had in baptism, a classmate, a good friend, and one of the board members that said he don't like the title of at large, maybe because of his size. I'm from a California chapter, my able friend, John O.C. Okoji Sr.
From today on, nothing like apply. Will I have a North Carolina chapter?
Somebody that I cannot speak very much of, that sometimes when I see this name, I wish I was somebody that would go back to school and find a better adjectival clause to quantify this honorable gentleman. The man that has cut down the cost of our operation, one of our able board of directors. My friends, help me to recognize Dr. Ben Kunta. From the Lewinsky State, from the capital city, from Mr. Jeffrey Pastor. And hope you never know the wrong one. I did reserve this. In Texas, we do things the big way because we're a big state. I want to recognize my sister city, the able member of board of directors, Mr. Chris Chukura from Dallas, Metro. Will somebody take this award from Dallas for us? Mr. President, Mr. Dallas. Finally, from a bona fide leader who feels that it's not appropriate to mention his name, but since I'm not considered, let me say this of somebody again from the great state of Texas, a brother from Mobile, and a brother from the alumni of St. Patrick's College, the college that looks like a military barracks now, that challenges every one of us, Mr. Ben Phillips, the chairman of the board of directors.
Okay. The time has come for our comments and questions and ideas from all that we have heard this evening. So I will start, and I will please indulge you to be very brief and to the point. 2 minutes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My comments will be very brief. I think the main reason most of us have decided to be members of play active roles in this ASABA union is first and foremost for me is I think we really need to begin to break the kind of feelings we all grew up with the saying we have so many well-placed ASABA people in Nigeria. Most of us lived in Nigeria before we came here, and the trend was that most times most ASABA people never got to benefit from the disposition of these ASABA people. And I think we should begin to change that outlook. You know. One way to do that is to begin to freely network and begin to make available some of our skills, resources, both contacts and things to our fellow ASABA people. And also not to have reservations about trying to help ASABA people in one way or the other. I know we have all these plans to help people in ASABA, which is very good. But I think charity begins at home. We must begin to take care of ourselves in the U.S. by trying to really relate not only for a social gathering, but for a situation where we really can maximize our stay in America. We have people of different professional backgrounds here and different skills that can make available to others. There should be no shyness about helping somebody else. You know, there are people who are qualified, they just need a way into the system. And some people are already placed in a situation they can help others. I think this is one way to begin to change that attitude. Nobody's an island. We might be partially or very successful here, but I think the more successful we tend to be is by helping others from the level where we can organize, and relate across the system, and need to navigate all the other plans that those efforts. Thank you very much. I'm not going to, but I will just say it for that time.
Please, let me say that when you come up here to make your comment, please start by giving us your name so that at least we can have That's a very accurate representation.
I'm sorry. My name is Samuel Kunta. I'm a physician based in New York.
Okay. Thanks. 2 minutes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm no wish. Any ndị otu ụra ndị ama ọ na-ekerekwa m ndị James nọ ndị ogbuebunu nọ. My name is Ogbuechi Chinyelu Nwata Nwajeyi. My issue is completely different from what we have discussed here tonight. I know vividly at our age right here, General Gowan has started ruling Nigeria. And what is happening down home as regards to issues concerning the ASABA and the Turata have not been mentioned here. And I felt with our position right here in the United States, we can forge and change things. Why I'm saying this is this. If you have anything like all these projects they are talking about, if anything involves money, you take it down home to ASABA. I bet you it will turn you back. If you don't drop the money there and come back and allow them to invest the money the way it has been done in the past, that project is not going to work. When in this city, if most of you are not aware of this, you send down a young ASABA to ASABA with the sum of $5,000 to renovate the Ogawu of ASABA. Because right now, the meeting, the Oga is supposed to be where the ASABA welcomes strangers, and that is where important issues are being deliberated. But right now, they don't do it there. Why? Because the building is completely dilapidated. It's completely gone. When it's raining, you can't stand there. The toiletry there is gone. We decided to send Amy to ASABA to get this thing renovated. You know what? She was come back. Despite the fact that $2,000 has been spent buying the material to do this. Why? Directly or indirectly. We told her not to drop the money there. And that's why he's back. So what I'm saying is this. If the time here will not be enough to talk about this issue, and I would like the board of directors to refer this issue tomorrow during the Constitution Committee deliberation, if we can tackle it, because I felt and I know vividly, if the issue between the two Rajas and the ASABA and Council cannot be resolved, nothing can be done in ASABA. That's my point. Thank you.
In trying to be objective, if I give him 5 minutes, I'll come and give somebody else 2 minutes. Somebody will say, yes, you can have come again.
Okay, I think what to say, but then, again,
So that will be an issue that we can take back and really see that. But that's well taken. From this side,
Good evening, everybody. Well, my name is Eboka Osi from Umona, ASABA, and in fact, I'm from California. And the mining work happened tonight, but I'm still part of ASABA. So what happened is that due to the experience and my feelings and what I observed in ASABA, I noticed that the proposal or whatever we discussed tonight, some of us did not mention the exact thing that we are really facing into right now in ASABA. Our kids in ASABA, they have no place to go to school. They have no schools. And if you go down there in ASABA, you find out that their school has already fallen. They have no roof. So we mentioned something about education books and everything, but where are we going to put all these things? So nobody has said something about schooling, okay? let's go ahead and focus. If Anna will help us, let's look into schools to innovate the schools. Thereby, we should be able to throw this. Okay, thank you very much.
One more from this side.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to infringe upon your time. This evening, I know the time is of utmost importance to us. What I'm going to cover is just a basic thing, which some of us have articulated earlier, and that is doing the right thing, trying to help people back home. It is very frustrating that the people back here depends on our government to be able to take care of their basic needs. But we are not able to get the government to do anything for them back here. So I'm encouraging everyone, particularly the ASABA, ASABA National Association, to do whatever that is needed to enforce the projects, the projects that we have in hand, the ones that are promising to enhance education and assist the people back home to achieve. And essentially that is my word for the evening. And I'll leave you with the word of God, that knowledge is power. And we must do what is it in our power to be able to make it work. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Again, I'm going to take just 1 minute, but I'll try to really drive this point straight home. My brother here mentioned something that is really very touching to me. We all stand for the education of the children in ASABA today. That is the theme, as far as I'm concerned, of this convention. And that's our point. So if you weren't here when we mentioned that, I mean, it's unfortunate. But we have there's a point that I did not drive home, and this is what we need to do that. Adopt a school program. If each of the associations here can pick on one school and sponsor them, we adopt roads, we adopt dogs, we adopt different things in America. Why can't we pick on these schools? I'm not talking about university or secondary school, but the basic things that we need today. Believe me, that's what we stand for. And I think by the end of the day, we'll be able to decide that the average ASABA child will be able to go to school and have a slate and a blackboard and a piece of chalk to work with before we go to the computer level. So that is our stand. We did address this issue, and I think we all encourage and support this stand of ASABA Washington area. But again, let it be an Anna issue, not really Washington. Or whatever we decide on today is going to be done by Anna, and not any sectional, it's going to be a sectional interest. Please, let us emphasize this issue. ASABA children must grow before they become adults. Thank you.
Please, if you think that you can speak from where you are, there's no need for you to come out here, you can.
I just wanted to throw out there for those of us who are on the internet, because what we're doing, we're doing a research on certain things like an airport. There are certain sites that I would like all of us to begin to visit. One of them is www.interaction.org, www.goodwill.org. Those are links. In fact, the interaction.org is a gateway to many sites that can give you information on things that we're doing. I think it would be very good if all of us can visit outside of this. World Health Organization goes out to different parts of the world and help them to something like water supply. There are projects that World Health Organization is doing right now when they are going outside and helping different people. We need to get involved and get some of this information, because health supplies, somebody mentioned it before, we can get these supplies now because we know the associations out there that are willing to give us these materials. And the problems that we will run into, things like transportation, star rate, and deciding if these things are things that we can use in ASABA. Are the issue that we need to be talking about. Let's get together and find these organizations that can give us these things that we can use. Medical supply, water supply, adopt a school. We have about 8 primary schools in ASABA. We urge every one of the associations to adopt one. And for the Navy with your Mama or Sadepe, I'm hoping that we will use this opportunity to launch an all-boys network, all-girls network, so that some of these things can, take away, what I'm at. Because all-boys for Sadepe can do a lot more than you can get other. All boys for SPC, all boys for Sadepe, all girls. If you involve, if we run this, we're going to get people from who are not even ASABA people that have gone to these schools to contribute to this. So I'm thinking that this is something, please don't undermine this thing that I've just said. It's something very important. We need to look into it. And we need to do it tomorrow so that the people who will come to the party will follow it.
Excuse me, everybody. Venture you for here right now. Excuse me, everybody. I would like to table a motion that an official language of this association will be Igbo language, ASABA Igbo. Yes. More I feel like not the disgraceful. I got done a greeting Islam that I got a part of our own language. We have peace, and we know anarchy, bring it up. My own tradition. School understand what we're doing. I better never not show you so you're going to see. I'm going to why my fear going to but I'm not going to never not show you. Why I feel like it's injustice. I'm going to be injustice. So I cannot show you. So look at that, it's a good motion. Order.
All the provost. Order. I want to be here. I know. Even though when they keep the time. But I'm not going to take too much of your time. There is something that is near and dear to my heart. And that is something Choi brings you guys back to the Constitution. And that is Anyicha Umun Nebisi. I like it. You can also know Umun Nebisi no. That's number one. Number two, I didn't propose getting in Houston anyway. But number two, I want to take you guys back to political arena. For those of you that do visit internet and those of you that do not visit internet, there is something that is going on in Nigeria. We need to get involved deeply in the political arena. Because right now, most of us have spent our lifespan here in America. And they are going to strip us off our citizenship, dual citizenship. I don't know anybody money for that information right now. I happened to visit the internet a couple of days before I came here. And that is something that we need to galvanize ourselves together to have a political facet that will represent us in Delta and then in Nigeria as a whole. Basically, that's all I have to say. And thank you, my brothers and sisters. The proposal right now, everybody is allowed to write a constitutional representation and send to Nigeria before December 1st. The proposal is that there is no more dual citizenship. You're either going to be here, and you guys have known what we have done representing Nigeria and helping Nigeria. I will encourage you to visit internet. It's in the library, any local library. I can't elucidate on that.
Why not me go to and then you share that with me?
I intended to bring the flyers here. I don't want to be rude, but because of the time, you can see him, because of the time. The information.
Do you mind if you get with him when we come to break so that you can give more details to that?
Yes.
I would like to bring us back to who we are. I believe that ASABA has ceased to be just a geographical entity. You take ASABA with you wherever you go. One thing that I find very important, and I think we're not really getting into, and the provost just mentioned, is the political process. The political process. We have to look for a way to get into the political process. Because we've talked about how we're going to help ASABA, help the hospital, help the school system. But I believe that some of those things that we're trying to do for ASABA actually should be done by the government. ASABA is a state capital, seat of government. We need to begin to look for how to influence that process. We're going back to civil rules. Come May 29, 1999. Maybe we need to begin to look at how we can influence the process. We'll think about it and start working on it as soon as possible. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. So my name is Victor Quentura from Isieke Bomenta Village. On behalf of the people from Louisiana, I'd like to thank the leadership of this organization for putting this thing together. It's just a mind-boggling event, you know, to just come out here and see all these people that you haven't seen for a very long time. But to follow up to what Brother Igwebe, just said, I think that by the time, if you look back, when most of us left ASABA, ASABA was ASABA. It was not a capital. It was like, brothers and sisters, and I mean, you can pretty much hold your arms around ASABA. But since ASABA became a capital, most of the kids that attend SPC are not from ASABA. Most of the kids that attend AGGS are not from ASABA. And so as a follow-up to what he said, I think that we need to find a way to create a form of, or a system where we can match or allow the government to match the funds that we raise. Okay? Because, I mean, if you put pipe-borne water in one village, are you going to say that only ASABA people are going to draw the water? I mean, you have more people from everywhere now living in ASABA. The government we need to find a way to allow the government to play their own important role. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I think that that is the best way that we can start tackling some of the problems or some of the things that we want to do around here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Curtis. From New York. Some of the things I said yesterday, I told you,
we can just, it's all right when you say, oh, you need to begin to write position papers. You need to begin to get involved in those who want to run for government. May of 1999, there will be a government.
See, one of the things we have to do, we have to try to
wait until he becomes a government. That's too late. We need to start now.
I'm listening to when you talk about what the Christian people did with the property. Now, I don't know what happened. Look at it from a different angle. If I have a building, yes, somebody has that building. If you come in to do something in that way, I think you should tell me first. I don't know what it is. But sometimes we go about too many of these things. We overstep our bounds. We're not the government. You cannot provide books to Nigeria because the schools don't know how the school system works. You can't take American books to ASABA and tell us about things they have to read. We don't control education in ASABA. So let's please prioritize what we want, what we should do. And not just jump around one place and step into things that we cannot afford to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I was sitting down and I was listening, and it looks like we lost our focus. We did have a focus of presentations that were made to all of us here, and having listened to the last speaker about prioritizing, it started making sense to me that we left what we wanted to do and we were tagging along some other factors of more things to do when we have not really visited the things we've already talked about. Now, let me try to have a summation in the sense that there are certain things that have been proposed here today that is free of charge to us. I understand we cannot change education in Nigeria, but when a book is going to be given free, and it's going to be 10,000 books, and it's going to cost us a miniature amount of dollars to ship it home. And I have spoken about collaborating with other Nigerian clubs that will be more than happy to shoulder the cost with Anna, where we will not say this is Anna doing this, where we will be saying this is an ASABA organization doing this, be it from America, be it from London, be it from Nigeria. It is still benefiting ASABA people that are educated, either in ASABA or any person that came to ASABA to gain an education. It is great to leave your own place to come to ASABA to get an education. We will take advantage of that, and I think we will not shift that to the side. We have listened to the issue and a strong cost-benefit analysis. I'm not an accountant, but there's a lot of you who play with figures. But when I look at numbers, it makes sense to me. When we talk about transportation, and we talk about Okada, and we talk about accidents. So, what stops us from visiting that area and taking advantage of it? We've talked about something that has made the greatest sense here, adopt a school. Why can't we do that? I hope I did have more time, but however, let us prioritize and build on what we've talked about and have a summation and move forward. Other things will be in the blueprint for us to build on for tomorrow.
From Dallas. What I'm trying to say, the last speaker, not the last speaker, Mr. Lana. You know, the system of education in Nigeria, I'm not an educationist, but the system in Nigeria is today this, tomorrow that. But I think the system we are following more in Nigeria is a British system. So if you're shipping books here from America, I wonder, because a typical British person, I'm not underrating the American English, but a typical British person will tell you, what are they speaking about? You know the way they look at it. Our background is British already. So at times when we speak, they say, oh, you have an accent. I say, it's a beautiful accent. So what he's saying is sort of like, if you ship these books there, and these children can't understand the language here, is that what do you do with the book? They sort of throw it aside. If Anna can incorporate people in Britain or incorporate people in Nigeria who can be able to donate books that will be useful, I think will be better. Thank you.
I want to concur to what the sister have just said, because if all of us can remember when we came to this country, the spelling, the English is different from the American English. Even when you write, it's not the same thing. Like she said, if we donate all these books free of charge to the kids and they cannot use it, it's useless. But if we can raise some money and buy some books that is already printed in Nigeria, I think that will benefit them more than shipping free books to them that is not useful to them. And secondly, I went to ASABA in November, and I happen to know that some of these teachers, they have books. When they make copies of these books, they sell it to the kids. And if you don't buy these books from the teacher, you will fail, even if you have millions of your own textbooks. So I think the best thing is for us to raise funds and donate it to the schools and let them provide the kids with the kind of books they used to. Because I remember when my kids went home, they could not communicate with the kids over there, with the ones that speak English, because American English is different from Nigerian English. So let's think about donation.
Everybody can.
Order. Maka na onye nọ n'ebe anọ n'ozu oje ga-abọ osi n'ụkwụ bọlụ. Anyị bụ ndị Asaba ezugo. Onye na-ekwu ibe na-ekwu asị na anyụsị asị na atụpịa ha ọnụ. Ọ dịka otoro na-agba. Eburu m okwu bụgara ndị ikwu okwu edukeshọn. Ezie na oyibo Amerịka dị iche, mana dịka anyị bụ ndị a mee sayensị, anyị ma na 1+1 bụ 2. Wee mebe na Amerịka, wee mebe na Britain, na 2 ka ọ bụrị. Nke ịbụa bụ na onye na-eyi ife na ofe ijụa onye nwoke ịbụ. Onye nye ma ọnya amarị. Maka na bukọsịa na ebukọsịa ndị Atlanta kwa alụ ọrụ. Ọ bụ anyị ga-akụnyere wa aka maka na ọ dị n'ofere. Ofufe na-ekwu bụ na ofu isi dọkpụ ntị bụ na ndị a na-atinye anyị akwụkwọ a anyị ga-akwado wee anyị wee yuzu atata mgbe yuzu ya echi oge mgbe ndị ọ ga-abụ ọba uru bụ nke gba nke ịtọ bụ na anụkọpụte ndị isi ugwu maka ọ dọgoro nwa ka anyị nọwọ anyị ga Asaba na eji anụ na Krismas na ọ dị enyi ozu na ekwukwe akwụkwọ anyị ga ọ ga-adị mma na ka anyị nọwọ na ndị weta ego enyi igwe anyị na-atụwọ rụọ Edelibu Education Center na Asaba. Ọ ga-akala ọnụ mana ofu bụ ofu, maka na idegedote moto nkwụsị ahụ onye egolu nke ọkụ nke ị ga-anwụ n'oge. So ebe m na-ekwu bụ na ka anyị na-enyo anya ịrụ Education Center na Asaba. Ọ ga-abụ na ị bịa ịkpọ m Chimuchinyelugo ka anyị fụ ka a na-ebe dị ntu a. Anyị nwere ike pụta n'ebu ọ, anyị mfụwa ọgaranya n'ebu ọ. Ọ bụrụ izu agbakwa ahụ. So na m na-akwado aka ka anyị na-enyo anya biko nụ nke onye na-eri akwa inu na alụkwa
like I said, from just a word of caution. If one of them everybody has fantastic ideas. Obu bosso, and you need it. Obu video, obu books, so everything we need it. We know we need this thing. One thing is this. What use God have been was the understanding journey. Those people are in money before the Nigeria, and for these things to work, I have been in the political arena. Of Delta State Governor, of Commissioner of Police, of Otu Ihaza, of ASABA Council, of ASABA-2. Categorically, number one, there is no project in ASABA, no matter what we decide tonight. It's either they hand over to ASABA and his people to carry out for us, or and they carry out the project, but they will have the upper hand, they will still be supervisors over the project. So no matter what we decide to do tonight, no matter what, and you can make it sure that you research very well. Time out the route and you can so. ASABA works in hand with the governor like this. Everyone wants to just ASABA. Who can complain at the route? They should have one go. Who can complain? He said they can complain about that. What? What does your boss work? Hand over to governor's compound. What's Amaya? Of what use of? Books. Free. Fine. I ain't for the books. No ASABA. Books are going for St. Patrick's College, all the whole students, all the whole library. And you can have way back. ASABA. So we must work hand in hand with this people. We must make our research. And you can one handle that, more you can handle that. That's all I have to say. No matter what we decide, all the we have to do our job.
After most of people attack war in Atlanta. I don't mean to say in Atlanta. I am about why I am very certain if I do. First of all, I go back to one of the Japan over there, we're not going to hear. One of the Japan over there, we're not going to hear. Any date for the education of this country, we're not going to hear. How when I go where I go, did the language affect you? Or did the others tend to affect you? No. Scientifically, all things are the same. Mathematically, the same. English, the same. For the last 7 years, I've been teaching in secondary school as a science teacher. And this project, as I'm trying to carry out, is quite obvious that we can do it. Let me come back to When I did when I saw about 2 textbooks or 3 textbooks, but 10,000 textbooks plus. In the sense that every secondary school in ASABA, right from SPC down to secondary school, we were at least 2,000 textbooks. At least 2,000 textbooks. Okay, we include also 1,000 notebooks just for free and other supplementary materials for teachers. So we kind of put a language different. Let me say clearly, that is obviously untrue. The way we enter I find not Spanish or French or this English. But in the area of English language, it's the same thing. Mathematics is the same thing. Let me finish, please. Let me finish. Okay, so let us be careful how we use our language in terms of trying to kill other school projects.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I've been here, Christopher Chukura from ASABA, and we are all one. I've heard everything said here about that and that and that. But let's take a look at ourselves. Take a look at this room. We are over 50 of us, and we are not ashamed. We talk there is no transportation. Our father are doing that. We went to school, we came to America, we look at how things work, and yet we cannot implement it. The issue is let's forget what ASABA says or Tuara says. Let's do the investments, create the jobs, make the money. We can do it in many, many ways. I've heard people talk about transformation. I can raise 50 grand from you all here if you all buy shares of 1,000 each out of 100,000 shares, you will operate a good transportation system. You pay the people to do the job, and they do it right. Where you use your money and your time, you don't take any nonsense from ASABA or from anybody. You implement it and it works. Are we not ashamed? We talk about transport for this. If you spend $200,000 battle, you get the best transportation. You improve it, you make it work. That is what we ought to do in every aspect. That's how this land is successful. This land is not successful based on free gifts. This land is successful based on investment. So it's time for we to look at the con and take the actions. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've spoken, and I want to revisit what he said a few minutes ago. No matter what we articulate here, no matter how much money we contribute, there is no way we can go into our server and start editing, negating the people back there. When the way you mentioned for us to try as much as possible to get in touch with other units. And I can tell you for one, ASDEM, since 1982, has been involved so very deeply in development in ASABA. This is strict electrification. We are one of the things that was carried out by ASDEM. And for certain, we have people in ASDEM who are very well educated, who are in various positions in Nigeria, both in industry and in government, who will be of great influence. Just about listen to ASDEM and ASDEM states. We've had reasons to do certain things at various times in ASABA that even bother the government itself. You know, a couple of ASDEM members we are doing for here and there. When the government tried to do business in ASABA, that was not agreeable to ASABA being. All right, that's all we started. What I'm saying is we really have to get those associations in Nigeria involved in whatever we're going to do from here. Otherwise, we'll get nowhere.
Good evening. Just want to relate to what Eji said and Alana. We need to understand the infrastructure in Nigeria. Book learn to trade. If they say they want to build a central library, put it go, during your strength and you can go acquire from the fine. In Nigeria, if you don't understand it, let me tell you now. You can high school, secondary school, or university, the textbooks are illiterate. The teachers are business people. You have to buy that teacher's handout to pass, to graduate from university. You can be a brilliant kid. If you don't buy that teacher's handout in university, you'll get a 10 class. So if you send this textbook, it's not part of the teacher's curriculum. It's not going to make the kid. But the book, then it's going to be a central library in ASABA. You know, look for a place in the council there, because the piece of office, you put the book, then they have behind where kids can go look at this book as a reference to improve their knowledge, fine. But if you think that is going to change the curriculum, because that is the way teachers make money in Nigeria. And these people are entrenched in their way of life, they're not going to fall because of 10,000 books.
Yeah, it wasn't simple. Look, I have to go. Project and I'm in like 2 o'clock. I had to never. Event of now. Let's streamline. Even I discussed. Now, I'm going to vote. And a vote where it's not going to be and I will. I have to be going to even at 12 o'clock. And if any about what makes sense, I got shot on I see what with this ASABA. I understand now the man for the kind of man, let me use the right word. Anyway, you have met with him. All CB get the cross with him. Man, I get the best letter. Man, I want to go and if I can make a right in there. Man, I get the best letter. I get to work with them. Maka kosi book, I made the book. I own the book. So I made supervisor, we don't know. When you went to the MNA, because go continue, we go. I have to go 2 months. Let us vote on a project. One, just single one. The book thing, we're very fantastic idea. I support it. I mean, I've seen American English, I've seen American English, I've seen example. My own self, when I was in secondary school in SPC, I'm a recipient of 3 books from this country. George Orwell being one of Animal Farm, being one of the books I will never forget, really. So, I want to say DJ. So, it doesn't make any sense. If they are giving us 3 books, let us accept it and run with it. Please.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Rita Joss, I only have one comment today, and before you go into voting for any particular project, I want us to bear in mind Maslow's basic needs, because you cannot give me what I don't need if I'm hungry. And you have to satisfy the need, which is most basic to the people, before you can go any step ahead. The library issue, the books are all wonderful ideas, but most importantly, put into consideration what is most needed for these people to survive. And I want to give a thank you to all the women that have participated in this workshop, something like that. That it's very important, because most organizations don't find women participating in any form of thing. So I'm very, very impressed with the turnout of the women. And I'm going to applaud the fathers who need women to succeed in everything you do. Because behind every successful man is a wonderful woman. We, the women, need to give them the utmost support by way of allowing them the time to do it and supporting them in whatever means possible. Galo.
Thank you.
Good evening.
That's all right.
Yeah, so we I will speak up like even with Joseph a long while ago that like we went contact with India APF as a progressive front Nadala has already established a liaison Nasaba, in person of Professor Okobi and Professor Ndele with the blessing of ASABA. So during this meeting, the need was articulated by the whole of ASABA leadership, including ASABA himself. That is why we figured that this transportation issue, not the very, very chronic, and not an essential, component of what they need in ASABA today. So now, if I transportation issue, transportation program to ASABA today, we are not going to experience any stumbling block because it's already what they articulated to us that this is what we need. And now, when we get back to the internet, those of you who have access to the internet, we published the report that was given by the Delta State Pointer and also the deliberations we had at ASABA's Palace. So I believe when at transportation was something Anna can do, we can generate the money to do the transportation from these activities today. I urge everybody to vote for that transportation come voting time.
Please, I was just informed that we have about 15 more minutes to the end of our contract here tonight. So, I guess time has come for us to choose. What? Yeah, you have Atlanta, what is your book supply? Okay, Dallas has transportation. Houston has news or New York will choose based on what they need.
Not only that, you also should.
Yes, okay. North Carolina, what is your transportation? Washington?
Adopt the school.
Please, let us realize that, we are not going to be boiled down to only one project. We can approve 3 projects and then decide, to shoot this to the board of directors and the executive council to prioritize them on 1, 2, 3 in the sequence that it will be done. This is a suggestion. Or we can look at the cost-benefit analysis and then, go with what is feasible right away and then, run with it. So, we talk about one project, can just follow and say, okay, this is it, so we can vote for a variety of things. Again, we can arrange it in a chronological sequence.
I would suggest we postpone the vote so that I'm able to realize almost none of us guys are not going to have 5,000.
That's right. That's what we said. That's what I mean.
Okay, let's postpone the vote until we know how much we get.
Excuse me. Yeah. I don't think necessary.
One at a time. Order.
Not feel that not important actually current project. And then I prioritize here after tomorrow.
Please don't speak until you are recognized.
I'm sorry. Oh, I thought I was going to. I'm sorry.
One minute.
And we all agree together. Up to the box. So none of the amount that
Order.
That's our view.
That's our view, please. Order. Senior.
Junior. That's the last one. After that, we'll get into
I know people ask for a coin, you ask for. One won't have one for Calas and Diabo with the Oku boss. When you're going to get cost, I'll get you with me first. I never know national argument. I'll be okay.
Okay, I think we've got these are the options. I think I might have one saying we have 2 or 3 different.
Order.
I think these are the motions. One, to have 3 different projects.
Orderly.
The next one was to defer any voting until we at least have an accurate amount of how much we've earned before we can make a decision.
That's right.
And I think these are the 2 main, places to vote on. Do I hear a 4th item? I don't think I do.
Point of correction is that Mr. Village, the requirement that we have to vote is that we must know what the project is, how much is it going to cost us,
before that project can qualify to be voted on. You should be able to adhere to that, because if for any reason any chapter did not go back to do their homework and tell us that maternity or cultural center is going to cost X amount of dollars, they are just not, we don't know what it is. We can't go on a fishing expedition.
At the same time, if the union comes in here and tells us that they will spend so much money to hire drivers, to hire all these people, I mean, how can you spend this money like that? You will hire drivers in Nigeria, pay them from our money here. How are you going to control it? It's not feasible. It doesn't matter with you.
Let's observe some tranquility, please.
Because in the interest of time, Mr. Bari, your points are well taken. But compromise, we have those two different options to vote on now. Either we choose 3 items. The next one is to defer every voting until we have gotten the amount that we have. Now I will have to call on delegates to vote on those options. No more.
No. Order.
No more.
Order.
No more.
No, you've spoken. Thank you.
Atlanta, what is your vote? We have 3 different options to vote on. 2 different options.
Order.
3 different projects. The other is to defer any vote on we can have amount.
He has to list the order of importance.
What are the projects?
You have transportation,
you have schools, you have basically 3 of them are talking about you have 3 items here. 3 units are talking about food supply.
Maybe the way you need to do it is let everybody know what they are voting on and let them have an order of importance. Then you can ask the delegates to say, for Atlanta, this is what we're voting for. This is what we're voting for.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, a lot of people here, I'm a voting already. So we would like to know exactly what we're voting for.
you guys need to realize we have only 5 minutes to get out of here. Unless you have money to pay overtime here.
Now listen, we have food supply, we have transportation, and then we have the Memorial Park. These are the 3 items. 3 unions chose food supply, so that involves, have food supplies.
Did you mention about the school program?
That's all part of food supply.
You have food supply, transportation, what else?
Memorial Park. So, we're in Atlanta.
North Carolina. North Carolina, order.
Food supply. Transportation, book supply, and Memorial Park, in that order.
Excuse me.
Dallas.
Excuse me, I think I disagree with it. Then that food supply and the adopted school that we talk about is the same thing. For that reason, we will abstain from this vote.
So you're deferring your vote?
Yes, we would. We won't vote. I recommend we take this back.
So it looks like we have 3 deferred and 3 votes. So it's not called New York. New York deferred.
I don't know how they came about
so
this.
So you have 3 and 3.
Apply.
So as you can see, we are a crossroad at a time. So
you have to go back and go.
So technically, it's the fair.
It's the fair.
What we're going to do now is that we are going to adopt a committee here that will go back and try to find out the best practices. So I think that will pretty much take care of this issue.
Please, before I talk about the calendar, there's something that is very obvious here. It looks like unanimously every person has accepted a book supply since this book is given free.
No.
When you look...
Not really. No.
I was thinking that it looked that way, and there were two projects, really, transportation and the book supply. And it was an issue of how to prioritize these things. But since everybody screamed, no. I said initially it does not have to be one particular project. It could be a combination of projects. And what it did seem to me was there were two projects that were started, the book supply and the transportation, that we could have done, in combination. But since, you guys are talking about a committee, realize that tomorrow everybody still has to wake up and we're still going to face the same music.
But the problem is not what is the problem here is that there is no consensus. So what's going to happen technically will defer and financially. Maybe you know that I've decided to defer. Maybe tomorrow we'll know how much to have. So we'll make up their mind.
And another thing, I think that the food supply is free. It is not free. We have $8,000 attached to it here. The shipping and everything, the distribution. Are we going to get that from you guys?
Can I answer? Yes. The book supply is totally free.
10 seconds.
It's free. Basically what we have to come up with is the transportation cost.
What is $8,000?
Well, somebody will have to store the books, package them.
It's not free.
So it's not free. Order.
I believe this issue has been fully dealt with. This issue is in respect to the committee.
I would suggest that every organization will pick two members only, and we are going to make some information available to them, our projected revenue and what we have done. One committee to deal with the constitution and one committee to deal with the project. We must leave Atlanta with a project and a time schedule to deal with. So please, because let us go ahead now and pick up these people, and these committees will meet at 10 o'clock here to deal with this issue and agree with it. And that will be banded on the So, before you leave, please give your name and maybe talk to your people, Saba, to be in that. And if you want to listen to the debate, you are more than welcome to attend those.
According to their mind.
Atlanta, Oyebu, your representative, Constitution.
I'm Shasami.
Project. Dallas.
Order.
Steve.
Which are it?
Project. Houston. Houston, Constitution. Houston, Houston, Constitution. Project. New York, Constitution. Project. Project. Esaluka. Atlant. Constitution. Project.
That one again, an issue.
Who is allowed and who is not allowed? Who is allowed and who is not allowed?
Any person that does not belong to an association. North Carolina has been taken away from Atlant.
Hold on, hold on. Did they pay $2,000?
Excuse me, please. Let me clarify. May I clarify this, please? Those you classify as Atlant, did they pay their membership?
Yes, they are paying their membership.
No, have they paid or they paying?
They are paying as they come into the door. Any person that is out here has paid
because they have no right to vote if they have not paid, nor to participate in the decision making.
They have paid. They have paid as Atlant.
By the same token, I will recognize North Carolina as an association. If that is the case, have they paid their $2,000?
Really, we are jumping the gun. There is no North Carolina because North Carolina has not paid the $250 enrollment fee. Neither have they paid the $2,000 for this registration. So currently, they are at large. Thank you very much. However, we will still entertain them to come into this group as the special session that will be holding tomorrow. And all it takes, like I have said, our project doesn't have to be one project. Two heads are better than one, and we'll keep on growing. But as of this convention, North Carolina is still at large group, technically speaking.
If I remember vividly, when we met, when we met here a couple months ago for the pre-convention, you said that North Carolina should be recognized as a chapter and that they will be paying $200, $250 after they have established. You said it, and it was agreed by everybody present at that meeting. And that the 2,000 should not be an issue because every one of them paid $100 each to attend this meeting. Which you people as a group, if you are spread out, I'm not even sure that you people paid up to $100 each. So let's not, like you said, let's be technical here. If you get technical, the so-called North Carolina or the Atlant, I've been paying more than those of you here. So I don't want to get into that. And I appeal to you, I appeal to the floor, right? And it was agreed that North Carolina should be accepted as a chapter for the convention. I made it very clear that we're no longer Atlant.
Okay, let me make this very clear. Let me make this very clear. Unequivocally, your statement is correct. But if you listen to what you said if you pay your $250. Okay?
No, you said
I said you will be recognized as a chapter when you pay your $250 and the $2,000 will be waived because of your $100 individually. We are not going to argue this. I have ruled that for technicality purposes, we are going to be inclusive and we are going to leave it at that. And that is what it's going to be. But, you know, I'm not going to go into the technicality or what have you. And that's the way it's going to be. Okay? Whether North Carolina is paying more than any other person, that is yet to be said. No, let me get it right. You are not going to get into a shouting match here.
Time is up. Hold on, my brother. Doc, hold on. Hold on, Doc. Your time is up. Let's again.
Brief and less.
In the interest of peace, but we still have to also be reasonable. If the noble president made them a deal based on brotherhood and understanding, they can't push the limit of it. They didn't pay the 250, so they are technically not registered. So since California doesn't apply, because the membership they pay that fee, but there's some other people from California who pay 150. They can form a large block, you know, and then I choose those 2 delegates for tomorrow's debate.
Who's the already did?
You know?
Let's make it tomorrow morning we'll get out those and we'll argue that in a video session.
Order.
I'm from North Carolina. Who are feeling that all these family members have to be even in the family commitment, have one and everything comes to this place. Who are feeling they should be recognized, whether or not black or racist. I think we should all be very grateful and be very proud of them that they left everything they're doing to come over here because you all should at least kind of recognize them that they left everything they have to do to come over here.
But let me add this, please. How can you...